Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Tarkan Anlar in Istanbul, Turkey. Tarkan is an entrepreneur whose current creation is Scotty, the Uber of mopeds that helps alleviate commute times in Istanbul, where the traffic is absolutely atrocious. Tarkan is an interesting, super likable guy with some solid wisdom for entrepreneurs. We talk about money, lifestyle, and leveraging the world to your advantage. Here we go with Tarkan Anlar.
Thinking this up lately, this is just to talk with you. I talk with these smart guys who made billion-dollar companies. What I saw in them, they are smart, of course, but the things that made them successful are not the smart decisions, are the crazy decisions that they made. So that's
like Airbnb,
yeah,
like Uber,
you need to be smart, of course, but crazy enough to do stupid things, to take that risk.
Well, I think you have to be, you have to do the hardest thing, which is go away from the herd, right? Like I think it's in our biology to sort of ostracize, to put out the person that doesn't do what everyone is doing, right? And there's difficulty in that. There's challenge because there's loneliness, and you have to, in a way, do it on your own. In a way, you have to hear all this noise, because when you're nothing and you haven't proved anything yet, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, great idea. That's gonna work." You know what I mean? There's that weird voice that comes at you.
Also,
but then like right now, you have Scotty on the road, and probably those people were like, "Oh yeah, great idea. That's awesome." You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Until you do, that's the most stupid idea. Everyone told me that it is impossible because you will not find the helmet suitable for everyone. You will not. One investor wrote me 12 reasons why Scotty will fail. And I replied, even we didn't have one motorbike driver, I replied, just see us in 1 month. Don't believe me, just watch.
Cool, so that's like a motivator maybe.
Yeah. And I forgot about that message. And I saw it when he sent me a message later, a few months later. Hey Tarkan, what are you doing? I checked what we have written and I saw that there. And I said, wow, Tarkan. Sometimes you look,
Cool, bro. Yeah. Hey, dude, my friend, sit like this more because we got the camera.
Okay.
And you're the star. Move the chair and then more that way. Because you're a beautiful human being.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, and it's a lot of for me, it's been a lot of trial and error, man. A lot. I have a business that functions right now, and that I have to work on. I had to go back to the States twice to fire and hire people. It functions well. It lets me live this global lifestyle. I'm not complaining. But do I love it? Is it I wake up and I love it? No, I don't. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what it is. I'm proud it's the best service in that space. But what I'm working on now has way more power and meaning. Connecting with people. You're crazy in this day and age if you don't harness all the social media networks and the internet and how many people you can reach now. That crazy experiment in Osipenko in the countryside near Donbass, it reached a lot of people. It touched a lot of people, and Voice of America took it up, and now they take all my content, and it's it is not a bragging thing at all because I feel like it's just starting. But I took that step at that one decision, man, of saying, fuck it, I'm gonna go live in the countryside. And you inspired me, man.
Thanks.
It was in me,
but
I think I needed your voice at that very time to say, dude, go do that cool experience. And I was like, I thought about it afterwards.
Yeah, there is a Turkish philosopher, maybe you heard, Rumi.
Of course, he's Iranian though, isn't he?
Yeah, Iranian, Turkish.
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, we love him, so we try to keep him.
Right.
He says, how much rain drops, the bucket will get water as much as it is size. You know.
Yeah.
So I believe everyone talks. You can listen to anyone, but the things are happening because you have this size and bucket size. So this is because of you. People will talk. If I would not be talking, someone would sell something, and you would do that. I think this is because you had that motivation in yourself already.
Right.
Because like we read mostly like people generally read the same books, same movies, watching the same things, but everyone is inspired differently from the movies, right? So I believe like it is because of your inside. If you have that motivation, you can do anything.
Well, dude, I want to get this in the podcast, so I'm gonna start, and then I'm gonna get into these spaces. Because that's good. It's good wisdom. Yeah. How old are you, Tarkan?
I'm 33 now.
Wow, man, so young, like a little child. Okay. Today, I'm here with Tarkan Anlar, a Turkish entrepreneur who resides in Istanbul and who is currently working on Scotty, an Uber-type app for mopeds that alleviates its users from the atrocious traffic of Istanbul. It's really bad here. Tarkan attributes Ukraine for much of his success. In this conversation, I want to get into the details on how he does it all. Welcome, Tarkan. Really cool meeting up with you. And we met like a year ago in Kyiv, and you're one of the first people I met there.
Same.
And now, it's funny, I'm on your home turf here in Istanbul. I came down here because I had to get a visa, like a residency visa to live in Kyiv.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, year-long visa. So nice. I feel like I pick it up today, actually. But to get in your story, I want to, well, firstly, how did you get started in all this? Like this Scotty, I just took it over. Yeah. I got on it just like Uber. Moped picked me up, gave me a helmet, gave me some shin guards, which was cool. We breezed over the bridge to the other side of the city. Yeah. Like, where did this idea come from? How did it start?
Yeah, I lived my life in the coast east of Turkey, which was a small town. There were no traffic jam, no time loss. Like, you leave one day, you can do 10 meetings, you can do whole day and go to swimming, come back, and then do whatever you want, work. Anyway, and party at the night. When I come here, I feel like if you do one meeting, it is enough, because the city is like wasting your time, and it's so unproductive, it's so inefficient, you know. Right. Like, I hated the traffic when I moved here. Right. And I'm driving since I am 17 years old, and I stopped driving car here. I didn't drive car. I was finding a friend or using taxi because I didn't want to lose my time, and I was reading book while I'm on public transportation or taxi, but I was never driving because I hated the traffic. Stucking in there was turning me mad. And I one day I heard that Uber is coming here, and I had a B2B business. I invested to my father to buy a car to start working in Uber, and he's an entrepreneur too. Right. Like he said he will manage it with 2 drivers, will make more money.
Oh, so you're gonna start like a little Uber business? Get a couple cars, get a few drivers, and
then it become 4 cars, 5 cars, 6 cars, and we started to change the shifts of drivers with the cars. But we were losing like 1.5 hour each shift changed. Okay. And it was really inefficient. And I said, hey, why don't we change these drivers with motorbikes? You know, because motorbikes.
Did you say it as like a joke, or you were serious that first time?
Yeah, I said, why not? I mean, let's try. It's like it's all about trying and learning. Like, if it is wrong, what we are gonna lose, like $2,000 because of buying a motorbike or something like that. Sure. And we started to change drivers with motorbike, and drivers like loved it because they said, "Oh, it's so fun not to waste time in traffic. Just we are going through it." And also we saw that in one day we are earning like 10 working hours. Like, this is really precious. Yeah, and we saw that it was much more efficient to change drivers with motorbikes. And I said, holy shit, this is an opportunity. Like, I started to make a research on the internet if there are similar businesses around the world. And I saw Gojek in Indonesia does this, and I love actually their business model. And I started to think that if it's possible to do that here, I talk with motorbike communities and like people who sell motorbike equipment anyway, anyone I could find, and like 90% of them said it is the most stupid idea they have ever heard. And I said, this is a great opportunity
Right.
because 10% thinks this is possible.
But it was working in Jakarta at that time.
Yeah.
Which is the worst traffic in the world.
Yeah. And actually, when people say it is not possible, it's some kind of like motivates me more.
Yeah.
No, I want to try. I wanted to try more, and I said we're gonna do it. Back then, I had a business, by the way, and I said I worked to make that business 5 years to make it profitable, and it was profitable for 6 months, and I said I'm quitting that job, and everyone around me thought that that's the most stupid thing ever. Like you build this company, like you spent 5 years to build this company, and it's profitable for last 6 months. You are quitting because you want to try something.
You didn't sell it. You quit it.
I quit. Yeah, like
But you learned in those years. You learned a lot, right?
Yeah, that business made me to learn how to start startups, how to do financials, how to do business planning, go-to-market strategies, anything, because like it was bootstrapped, so we didn't raise any money, so it was difficult to hire engineers, so I learned coding. It was difficult to hire marketing guys, so I learned marketing. It was like I told myself anything possible, because I didn't have money to hire the people.
So you learned every aspect of the business.
So when I was hiring, I was paying it from my pocket. So I was just being very careful, and I learned hiring.
Yeah.
So it was like the suffer taught a lot of things there.
So you didn't get this education or this know-how in university.
No, I studied business administration, but I can't say that I learned a lot there.
Sure. So Scotty's up and running now in Istanbul. How long has it been going on for?
It's 9 months, I think.
9 months, okay. And I got on this morning, the moped.
Yeah.
It came in like 3 minutes, maybe? Yeah. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
He gave me shin guards. He gave me a helmet. He gave me the Scotty, as in Scotty from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. So it like brings out like a fun vibe when you meet the guy and you do that, right? Yeah. But I know Ukraine has been part of this journey for you. So how are you involved with Ukraine right now?
Yeah, so it's a great story in my opinion, because on my last startup, I was working with Ukrainian developers, mostly like freelancing, asking to them work together.
Sure.
Exactly. Also, we had some people working with Ukraine, and I really love working with Ukrainian developers.
Why is that?
There are many reasons. First, we are in the same time zone. Second, we are very close with Ukraine, so I can travel whenever I want.
It's 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's 1 hour, 1.5 hour maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends. I fly from Sabiha to Lviv. It's like 1.5
Sabiha being the second airport here, and close to, not too far from here.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And the third is, I really think that the developers I work in Ukraine are disciplined, self-disciplined. This is very important if you are working remotely.
Right.
Because when you are working remotely, you can't see these guys. You don't know if they are disciplined or not. You just need to trust. And luckily, the people I'm working are the most self-disciplined people I know, and they are hard workers. They know how the startups works, and they just
they're easy to work with.
I mean, we are working with them. I'm working with Ukrainian developers last 3 years maybe, and I built our new team from scratch. Our CTO is Ukrainian, so the first hire is from Ukraine.
Okay.
And also, it's so funny story. I found first Ukrainian developer on Friday, and we started working on Monday. I said I'm coming Thursday, and he said, "Are you crazy? Like next Thursday?" I said, no, not next Thursday, this Thursday. He's like, we just met Friday and you're flying here to meet with me on Thursday. I said, yes. And I went there. We met with 2 developers. And that Thursday, we started working on Scotty.
So were you looking around the world at this time? Or you're like, India's a possibility, Ukraine's a possibility? Or you just knew in the beginning Ukraine was that place?
I think I worked with Indian developers as well. The biggest issue there, I think, the time zone issue, and it's not as close as Ukraine. So yeah, actually, it was one of my thing that.
But how about the quality of work, India versus Ukraine?
Actually, it depends how people you are looking for. There are good peoples and bad people everywhere, everywhere.
Sure.
So I think it depends. You know, if I would be close to India, I might work with India as well.
So Ukraine has been like definitely part of your success here.
Yeah. Actually, like we have the biggest hiring success ratio in Ukraine. Like each people we hire was successfully adapted to team and started working quickly. So I think, I don't know, maybe like because of the soul of the team we already have there motivates the people who join, or we are super lucky that we are matching with the best guys.
Right. What are your thoughts of Ukraine? I mean, that's a big question, but in general, what do you think of the country?
I think it's full of smart people. Like there are lots of smart engineers there, and the startup community started to born there. Primarily just raised tons of money from Ukraine. WhatsApp born from Ukraine. There are so many smart people doing great stuff there. And I think that will change the future of Ukraine.
But Ukraine's known for corruption, bad economics, bad politics. But this space, it's on its own frequency, right? Like it doesn't matter if there's corruption, right? Do you deal with much corruption or not so much?
Actually, I'm not a very political person. I'm mostly like technical person. But there are wrong things happening everywhere.
No, but I'm saying, do you deal personally with Scotty, with your business? Do you have to deal with corruption?
No, not yet. No. We are totally fine now.
Okay.
So I think what I think about the corruption and other things in Ukraine. If people just focus the things that they can change in startup communities or in their life, if they change, the country will change, the world will change. So I think we should focus always to the things that we can change, we can impact.
Right, like there's, I forget who said this, but he said, there's so many people out that change the course of politics or the way the world works, but their own house is not in order. Their room is messy. They don't have their own things together, and it's beneficial. I feel also like get your own house in order, get your own things figured out somehow. Start at that level, and then it starts growing from there. Instead of trying to go right to the top and saying this, because I feel like in Ukraine I don't get involved with the politics. It's not my thing. It's not my space there. But it doesn't look like a bunch of people that have the best interests of the country that are in power and calling the shots, right? But it's 2018 now, right? You have a startup which works with other people's mopeds, where your development's out of Kyiv, where I think you got funding out of San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
So it's this global paradigm, right? And you don't necessarily need those old structures to be determinant of your success. Yeah. And I found that to be true for myself there, other people's in startups, and obviously what you're doing.
Yeah, what you told was super important in my opinion. I think we should. My story started with the bankruptcy of my father, by the way.
Oh,
that's so interesting. That's the reason that I moved to Istanbul. So I was happy in Marmaris. It's a great life there.
So it's like party at night, hang out by the beach,
swim, work,
no traffic.
No traffic. It's an amazing life, really. But because of my father's bankruptcy, I moved here.
To make money.
Yeah, actually, the business opportunities that
Sure.
I can seek for. I started to stay on my sister's couch. I didn't have money to rent, but
How long ago was this?
6 years ago. Not.
So you were like 27.
Yeah.
Years old.
Yeah, I had lots.
Starting over on a couch.
I didn't start it from zero. I
Yeah.
started from minus because my father had owe to people, need to
Right.
pay because of the bankruptcy, lots of things. And so I started from below the zero. And what I believe, I couldn't change, I couldn't make the Turkey better on those times before I can be helpful to myself. So first thing I focus is to change my life. And I always wanted to start my own business, so I worked as a taxi driver in the beginning to make money and to build my startup at the same time, like part-time taxi. And I was trying to build many startups. I failed, started again, failed, started again. Anyway, but first I changed my life. Then I started to change people around me.
Change, like remove friends, add new friends?
No. I mean, like, be helpful to change in good way.
Yeah.
Like, I supported someone. Someone started to work with me and made money for his family. And this started this way. But when you get bigger, you impact more people's life and you make it better. So now we have 4,000 drivers. We are changing their and their families' lives. Also, people using Scotty is like almost 500,000 now. And their lives changing because they are earning 2 hours a day maybe. So we started to impact more people. And once we grow, we will impact more people and change their lives and start to make the city more beautiful. Then, if we make the city more beautiful, we can make the country more beautiful. And then maybe world more beautiful.
So it's a ripple effect. Like if you bring, say 1,000 people, that's the average person knows 1,000 people, right? And you bring those 1,000 people up, right? A little bit. You have a little mark in their lives. And then those thousands people each bring a little up. And then I think it's like 3 or 4 layers deep and you have the whole world. It's something crazy like that. Versus bringing those around you a little bit down, right? It's like has this massive weight. It's like a fulcrum, a lot of leverage. And I found that too in the last couple of years. The more I put out that's positive, I don't look for anything in return, but it just like builds on itself. And comes back. Yeah.
First time we met, I was telling you about how big the universe and how small we are. And how big is the time of the creation of the universe and how small our time in the world. Once you realize that, I think those times, the thing that I was realizing this. Once you realize how small we are, I think you stop worrying about lots of things. When you stop worrying about lots of things, you can achieve anything, in my opinion.
So do you think you can achieve, you came from debt. You feel like you can achieve anything?
On those times?
No, now. You feel like you can achieve anything you want to achieve, you can achieve.
I believe I can do lots of things because I have great people around me. And I'm very lucky of that. With those people, anything is.
But do you think it's all luck? It's probably a reflection of you.
There is a great quote about that. It's a big coincidence that I get luckier when I work harder.
Oh, so you mean you're not sitting on a couch every day and hanging out and drinking tea on the Bosphorus? Actually, you're in the startup space and you're working your
last 5 years. I can after my father's bankruptcy. I don't remember that I had a weekend off. Maybe after the day I marry on Saturday. On Sunday I had holiday, and on Monday I started working. I'm not kidding. Since then I'm working 16 hours a day, I think. Reading every day 3 hours, watching videos or listening audiobooks, trying to improve myself, because the person 5 years ago was not capable of doing the things that today I'm doing, and the person 5 years later I want him to be much better than who I am right now. So I'm trying to improve myself to do things possible.
What do you think is the big difference culturally between Turkey and Ukraine?
Nice question. I think people in Turkey are more business oriented. They are more entrepreneurial.
They know how to sell themselves better,
yes,
right?
And do businesses. Like, actually not do businesses, but start things and try to grow it.
Right.
But the technical background, but maybe this is because the people I met, I had this vision. Maybe I didn't meet with founders there in Ukraine. That might be the reason. But what I saw, the technical things, the discipline of work is higher in Ukraine.
Okay.
And I don't know, the will in Turkish entrepreneurs is higher to achieve something, to change the things.
So there, in the big spectrum, there's more of an entrepreneurial spirit here.
Yes.
But in Ukraine, there's more of a technical how to get things done.
Yes.
If you need, okay, so there's more, maybe there's a lack of leadership in Ukraine. Do you feel that or no?
I think it is because of probably they are highly focused on political problems or corruption and things like that. They started to be demotivated because of the things happening around them.
Right. Well, maybe. I mean, look at the histories of the countries, right? So you have Istanbul, Constantinople, Byzantium, right? This was the center of the world, especially of trade, right? Yeah. And so there's merchants, there's traders, and at one time it was in a way like diverse, like New York City, like everyone was here. In a way, it still feels like the center of the world to me. You have Fatih, which is women in full cover ninja style, and then you have Beşiktaş, and there's miniskirts, right? And there's everything in between in the city. But I think it's in the DNA here, right, to be a merchant, to sell.
Yes.
In Ukraine, from my short experience there, in that history, look, if you ever held the torch long enough, someone took it away.
Yeah.
Whether that be the Russians or the Polish. Yeah. Like Lviv it's been under 5 different flags in the last 100 years, right? So I think in that ecosystem, whenever you stood up too tall, you were taken down, right? And maybe that's culturally in the people. But that's not to say there aren't people achieving amazing things that are amazing entrepreneurs, and the future is going to be by far brighter, because what I see in that country is the young people. Look, they don't have great leadership, right? They don't have great, in general, great business leadership, great political leadership, but they poke up.
Yeah.
Some of them either get beat down by that, or the others go through it all, right? Yeah. Which makes them stronger, I feel.
Yeah.
Which makes them way more capable, which makes them mature quicker too in the process.
There is a research, the shark research, maybe you know that. There are small fishes and the sharks. They put a glass between them. Sharks try to eat those fishes and hit to the glass, and they can't eat. So they learn that they are not capable of eating these small fishes.
Okay.
Then the scientist removes the glass and sees that sharks even doesn't try to eat those small fishes, because they learned that they will not be able to eat them.
Right.
So I forgot the term for this, like the learned failure or something like that. There's a term for this. But once one of the shark inside that tank will eat the small fish, the others will see and learn. What I think about Ukraine, the WhatsApp, the Grammarly, and there are new successful entrepreneurs will born, and then the other sharks will see that they are capable of doing great stuff.
Yeah.
And it will change whole leadership thing and thinking entrepreneur way of Ukraine, in my opinion.
Yeah. Good point. So what are your plans with Ukraine? Do you plan to, as Scotty expands, do you plan to expand there?
So by this year, we are planning to hire around 100 engineers there. we have a Lviv office already.
Whoa.
We reach over like around 10 developers already. By the end of this year, probably we will have around 100 developers there.
So more developers there than in Turkey.
We have here as well. So we have 2 teams.
Yeah.
We are going to Ukraine sometimes to work together. They are coming here sometimes. So yeah, we are. It's great for the teams as well to be motivated. You know, they come from Ukraine.
Yeah.
Here they see the city, they enjoy.
Cool.
And they go back. It's a big motivation for them. Also for our developers here. They go to Ukraine, see there, and they motivate as well.
Yeah, and we hear the prayer right now.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's interesting, yeah.
It's special. This city is special. Like every time I come here, I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
I love Ukraine too. I love Kyiv, but to be able to have this monster world city an hour and 45 minutes away. Coming from the US, everything was always like 11, 13 hours. And it felt so disconnected, and now everything feels super connected. Okay, what do you love the most about Ukraine? What do you love the least? You've been there what? 4 or 5 times?
Oh no, actually it is maybe 15, 16 times in last 2 years, I think.
Okay,
maybe
so
more.
you can take this however you want it, but like culturally or business wise or however you want to look at it. What do you love the most? What do you love the least?
Okay, what I love most, actually, what I don't like most, to be honest, I see that people are sad. This is really I don't know. They seem like they lost their hope about the future of Ukraine. The people I talk, actually.
The young people you hire, or just
young
everybody?
People. I talk with young people mostly.
Yeah.
Whenever I talk, I feel like they are losing their belief, their hope towards their country, and like most of them wants to go abroad and work there or live another life. I believe in the change is possible everywhere. Ukraine is in a great location, like a great country, and it could be much better. And the only people can change its future are the young people of Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the most thing that I don't like about Ukraine, maybe. But the most thing I like. There are big part of it work really hard.
Yeah.
And they're they want to change things, and they when you come up with great idea, and once they believe in you, they become like a part of your family. They are like holding tight and let's go, let's do it.
They're very loyal.
Yeah. Also, I don't feel any difference working with a Turkish developer next to me or a person in Ukraine.
That's cool, because I run an absentee business. My business is in the US, and there's a psychology.
Yeah.
I have great people in place now, but it's a balance between being liked and feared to some degree. You have to be liked, because if you're not, then who wants to work? It's not a dictatorship, right?
Yeah.
But if you're too nice and give everything away, then you get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So I think your situation is easier with your CTO being there, and like it's an hour and 45 minutes, which is nice.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
I believe people are naturally good. Like, you know, people are good.
Yeah.
And we need to trust them. And I am not talking about to be used or something like that. But trust them. Tell them that you trust them, and expect the best from them. And just watch. Most of the time, I get great results over it. Like, because there are 2 types of views. You believe that people are bad or people are good.
Well, don't you think there's good and bad in all of us? We all have the 2 sides,
it
right?
depends on the manager.
What you bring out of somebody.
So you can manage the people in both ways. There are successful companies. The manager are there's a manager thinks people are bad and make all the things. You need to come at work this. You can go to toilet this much.
Sure.
Also, there are managers that believe people are good. We believe in you guys that you will do the best, and then manage it that way. The both can work in different businesses or different companies. How company you want to build? How you want to work with people? This is our life, right?
It changes you, right? That environment that you choose is going to change how you are as a person.
Also, it attracts the people.
Yeah.
How they want to work, which type of company they want to work. So maybe we are getting lucky because of that. They see other people and they start to work like them.
So what do you what advice would you give young Ukrainians? You have an outside perspective, but you understand the place better than most because you're up there a lot.
Yeah.
What advice would you give?
So in my case, I went to Silicon Valley many times, San Francisco. I saw there. I learned lots of things from great people there. And I come back to my country and trying to do best for it. So if any Ukrainian can find a possibility to go to San Francisco or like other countries, they should, if they are willing to do some businesses like startups,
right,
they should go, they should see. And I don't know if they want to stay there or come back, but there are opportunities all over the world. So they can come back to their country and start great things because their country have great resource of human. Like I don't like calling human as a resource.
Right. Put it in the same category as oil and energy.
Yeah, so there are great people to do great things. You don't need many things to make WhatsApp. Just some great people, a dream, and start working on it. Right. And it came from Ukraine. Why not another WhatsApp or big companies?
But I know Jan from WhatsApp, and he stayed there.
Yeah, but still, it's from Ukraine. Yeah.
It's from Ukraine, but I like the point of, people are going to go where their lives are better, right?
Yeah.
And that's a personal decision. Monetarily, most choices are going to be better in U.S.
Yeah.
But then you have to calculate what kind of lifestyle do you want.
Yeah.
I find Ukraine to be more, in a way, despite all the problems, more sane, like less anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of holidays.
Yeah.
They're not, in general, grinding as hard as the Americans.
Yeah.
American can get very one-dimensional, work and only work.
Yeah.
And in the startup space, it's sort of how it is.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter where you are. Maybe it's because I'm an outsider in Ukraine now and I don't feel these pressures as much, but there's a little more of a sanity to it.
Yeah.
Than America, where I was talking to a friend last night. There's just a lot of anxiety there, to be honest. I'm speaking in general. Depends who you're talking to, but yeah, Ukraine. I'm staying there for a while. I really enjoy it, and I see all these opportunities arising, and I see people like you figuring it out. And my friend Juke, who I'm going to do, also, we're going to do a video next week about his startup. He moved from San Francisco to Ukraine for the opportunity because he figured that out. So, all right, Tarkan, anything else you'd like to say about startup, advice for people, life philosophy?
So, when I was starting Scotty, I thought I had business, but on this business, I had difficulty to get payments on time because we were working with municipalities. So when I was starting this Scotty, I really didn't have money. I just get a debt from my friend's credit card, $800, and I started with that. Yeah.
Wow.
So I started with a debt of $800. So starts working on Scotty. And now we are the fastest growing startup of Turkey and biggest success story of raising money probably in Turkey.
How much did you raise?
In total we raised Okay, this is.
Oh, you don't have to see it. Have to say it.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
But a lot.
Yeah, we are raising enough to run our startup to grow it.
So in the millions.
Yeah.
Amazing. From negative $800.
Yeah, it's less than 1 year, 9 months. So what I advise, really find you don't need to find a great idea, but find some idea, start working on it. There are lots of money in the world. They can reach the money. It's not that difficult. If they have a great team, great idea, and they believe they can achieve it, they are hard working on it.
So no excuses for where you live, no excuses for how much money you have.
Yes, it's a great summary. Yeah, just have a dream, believe in yourself, find great people to work together,
and work your ass off.
Yeah, that's it. Really, we started Scotty in a coffee shop. I worked like 2-3 months in a coffee shop. Really, we didn't have an office space.
But that wasn't even long ago. That was how long ago? A year?
No, it's like 9 months ago or something. And then
now you have this office and there's four floors.
Yeah. And actually 6 months, 5 months ago, we were in one apartment. And one Ukrainian developer was staying in an apartment. We were working in the hall. And we were not fitting because our team grew fast. We hired 1 floor of this building. We rent 1 floor of this building, then second floor, then third floor, then fourth floor. So actually, the starts are humble. Don't expect that everybody are gonna believe in you. Don't expect that lots of things will be easy. Don't expect many things. Just work your ass off and believe in yourself. Keep working. Try, fail. Really, once you get the right point, the money finds you, the opportunity finds you, the people finds you. Like the whole universe starts to help you to become successful.
Tarkan, inspiration, my friend. And wait, let's do it. So, to the camera, Scotty. When you're in Istanbul, download Scotty. And, well, I lost my Scotty virginity just an hour ago, man. It was cool. And okay, I will say this too. It's like, it's way more interesting if you're an adventurous type to be on the back of a scooter than in the back of a taxi car. Lastly, are you going to do this anywhere else, or are you just going to stay in Istanbul?
We will do it internationally.
All over the world.
And
maybe not Ukraine because it's too cold in the winters.
There are lots of other opportunities in other countries. So our goal is to help people wasting less time. I mean,
cool.
So
and that's the best gift you can give these days because we all have less time.
Yeah.
Right on, Tarkan. Good seeing you, bro.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
You're up.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Cool,
I really enjoyed
You like that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed because when I'm talking with you, I'm so I feel like you're my brother and I'm talking with my brother, so I didn't feel like I am making an interview. No. Like I was just feeling like
cool
how I would talk with you. That's so nice.
Cool, broski. I love doing it. I really do. I think it's the power of podcasts now and YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like
also it is fun. I really want to help entrepreneurs, any people that I can help to do their goals.
Dude. You can have a lot of impact in that space now. And people even myself, it's human. You need to be told you can make shit happen and you can do it, right?
Yeah. It's like
because there's that ego that gets in the way that might be that voice of doubt. Like
as I mentioned, we need examples. Examples like people who achieve things. So you get inspired. If he can do, I can do.
Well, that's why I respect a lot of people in Ukraine who are going for it because their examples, for the most part, suck.
Yeah.
They're really bad. Look, capitalism is not in the DNA there.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, right? Like, look, in America, you're brought up from day one, understanding there's 20 choices of toothpaste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get every marketing message, every advertising message. You learn just by existing there, right?
Being a shark.
Being a shark. And so, for better or for worse, I'm not saying that gives you a better life to understand marketing and advertising. Yeah. But if you're attuned, if you have a business mind, it's sort of like you've been given that.
Yeah.
And in Ukraine, they have to learn a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but it is something that you can learn. What I tell to people, if 5 years ago, if I was here and 5 years ago Tarkan would come here to join Scotty, I would say, fuck off. Like, you are not disciplined, you don't know shit,
right?
And you look like, not a hard worker guy. You like partying a lot in Marmaris.
Dude, but what if you didn't have that party? If you didn't party at all, you would be here right now being like, fuck, I never partied.
I agree. I'm not thinking about it. I'm talking about, I was such a guy, son of a rich dad, who is partying, going swimming, not responsible. But once we bankrupted, it was like a hit into my head. Come on, you need to change. And so what I believe, people can change, people can learn, people can become better and better.
Right. So it's so counterintuitive though, because you think, okay, I have some wealth, I have $1 million, therefore I'll be more successful. Money makes money. And in many ways it does, but it's a mentality, right? So not having money cultivates a mentality, like the survival, I need to make shit happen mentality, right? So like Khelminsky, this the man who's started Unit City, a $2 million tech innovation center. He didn't come from money in the beginning. And his advice was just start and don't complain.
That's it, really. Right. Still, I don't care. To be honest, I want to say this because one-on-one we are talking.
Yeah, sure.
The money is like something I need to make this dream happen. It is not something I'm going after. It
so
is something.
You're not going off the Ferrari in the garage.
I don't care. I don't care. No, really. That's not my dream. I had when I was 18, I had Audi. I had the car that I wanted. I had the life.
You don't miss that stuff.
I am not looking for that. I just enjoy to impacting more people's lives in a good way, and it motivates me.
It makes you happier.
It's really making me.
Yeah, I think that's the key to Maslow.
Yeah.
Self-actualization, that top part of the pyramid is like how many people's lives can you affect in a positive way?
Yeah.
And it's selfish in a way. Like with my content I put out there and people get back to me, I feel good in that, but they feel good, so it works. It's cool, right?
I agree.
But just to pull down money for the sake of pulling down money, like I look at these oligarchs, a lot of these politicians in Ukraine, they don't look happy.
Yeah.
They don't. A lot of the rich are very guarded there. They're very closed off because look, they could lose it tomorrow. Who knows? But it just seems not like a fun space to be in.
Yeah. I was telling this to my friends a lot. I was selling diamonds. Yeah. And I was selling diamonds to rich people. And most of the rich people were buying diamonds to make their wives happy or themselves happy.
Yeah.
So they needed to buy diamond to be happy. So what I saw that 50%, maybe less, I don't care the percent, but the same percent of rich people are unhappy as the poor people, in my opinion. I saw there were 3 kids on the street grabbing something from the trash, and they found something nice and they were happy and enjoying it, 3 kids. And at the same time, my cousin at home was crying because his PlayStation was not working.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if you have 10 billion and you're down to 9 billion, you're most likely happier than the guy that has from $800 to $1,200, right? So
I think, as I mentioned before, we are focusing on ourselves a lot. Like, why do we want Ferrari? To be happy, right? We bring that, the Ferrari will bring us happiness.
Of course.
But just, if you can be happy without it, then it's not your goal anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before, the universe is too big. We are very small. The time frame is too long, and we are living in a short amount of time. So, I like experiencing things, and I would love to travel the world maybe instead of buying Ferrari. Yeah.
Because I think that grows you as a human being.
Yeah.
It develops your consciousness, basically,
and
yourself.
And actually, you don't need a lot of money. You traveled the world, right?
You want to hear insanity?
Yeah.
I save money by traveling the world. I'm serious. San Francisco is insanely expensive. My business it's operating from there or not, right?
Yeah.
No joke. Living in Kyiv, traveling to Istanbul. I'm actually staying in a pretty nice place right now because I wanted to treat myself to a nice place.
Yeah.
Great view of the Bosphorus. Hanging out in this amazing world city. Eating great food. I'm spending less money if I just stayed at home in my apartment in San Francisco.
What would change? Sorry, just think about it.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot. Even if you would have worse experience, I believe, if you had more money. Why? Maybe you will come with your jet and you wouldn't meet with those great people you met in the plane.
Well, I think, look, humans are meant to connect with each other. Like, no matter what technology we want to put on it, at the end of the day, this FaceTime is cool.
Yeah.
Dude, it's better than doing a teleconference call. And a lot of the experiences, say these wealthier experiences like flying your private jet, as cool as that could be, and I'd love to get on one, and that would be cool. But over the long run, you detached yourself from humanity. And I think there's a sadness in that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be Brad Pitt where you can't walk down the street anywhere and enjoy your freedom or connecting with random strangers, right?
Yeah.
For me, just connecting with random people in the city brings me a lot of happiness. So in the Western experience, quite often we're trying to compartmentalize our spaces and our time to be all about the individual. And there's qualities in that, being the individual. You can start something by yourself or whatnot. But I think the negative side is that I don't feel in Ukraine is that you become detached from everyone. And for example, I did this local train in Ukraine called Plaskard, right? And it's like you're basically sharing the sleeping quarters with everyone and everyone's walking around. And the Ukrainians, a lot of them do not like it. They thought I was crazy doing this Plaskard. I didn't think it was crazy at all. I'm like, you want to see a country? See how people travel. The average person, right? I loved it. I ate chocolate with the people next to me. I played cards with these other people. We all hung out. I played with some kids. It was very human and cool. So more money, if you're always separating yourself, just by the factor alone that you're separating yourself and more comfortable, could lead to less happiness.
I agree.
I honestly believe in that. I like public transportation.
Yeah.
Not every day. If I'm doing a 9 to 5 and every day on the metro, that will make me crazy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But when I'm in Istanbul, I can easily take the taxi. I couldn't take the Scotty because I had baggage. But I take the tramway in.
Yeah.
And you get to see a city, the inner workings of a city. You get to see how people behave. Do people read on the metro in Istanbul or not? Do they read in the metro in Kyiv? Are they animated? Do they connect? Are they closed? This is how you get to understand a society, right? I find it all very fascinating.
Yeah. So I think, I totally agree about this, about this is the reason I was not looking for money, in my opinion. Like, I was trying to do something, but not running after money, because I had a different story. The most entrepreneurs had hard life, difficult situations, then worked hard and become something.
Yeah.
I had a great life when I was a kid. I was there. My father was one of the richest in the town, and I was living in the best, like a heaven, place, and I had a great childhood. Then we bankrupted, and I needed to change things.
But you were able to change. That's key.
Yeah, I think I wanted to change it a lot. If you want something a lot,
you were like the Buddha. You went from such wealth and opulence to like nothing. Sat under the bow tree in the coffee shop. Came up with Scotty. Now it's like the middle way, man. You're making some money, but you're also helping and like cool, man.
So that's the reason when I needed money, my father was sending, so I was never in a need of money. And I still don't look for money. I don't have money in my pockets. When I need, I ask our accountant to add some credits to my credit card. And I don't know, like I use the lowest version of MacBook. I use just a random things. And even when I have less money, I was wearing the same. When I have more money, I will wear the same, in my opinion.
So it's well, I think you grew up in it, and you saw that it wasn't happiness because you saw when it all went away.
Yeah.
So for those people that don't grow up in it, like if you want to look at a lot of sports players in the U.S., a lot of these guys are black, inner city. They grew up with nothing, right? And they get the money and they go, whoa.
Yeah.
Flash, like I'm buying everything,
Yeah.
right? It's because they didn't have it. You had a lot of it, and you realized from a young age. For example, I lived with parents, living the American dream.
Yeah.
We didn't travel at all, zero, not one family vacation, but we lived in a very nice house. But everything was on credit, and everything was financed.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing it, actually. And I saw in that journey growing up where my father was always purchasing things that he couldn't really afford. Because America's an anomaly with that,
Yeah,
right? Like you can buy a bunch of shit on credit and you don't really have the money, but you can make the payments, right?
Yeah.
The second you can't make the payments, you lose it all. That's what happened. It didn't bring him any happiness. It was quick dopamine hits of that purchase and feeling excited. That lasted a very short amount of time. And then it would lead to more like it would be like a hangover effect after partying. It would be like even a lower low, and then you got to hit it up again and lower low. And I've found in my adult life, experience has given me a lot more happiness in learning about myself and how to be a better person, because that's a constant journey, right? I feel like I'm a much better person than I was 5 years ago, and in 5 years I hope to be much better than I am now. I know my demons, I know the things I need to work on, but yeah, the materialistic road, I'm not saying it doesn't bring happiness, and I'm not saying poverty is amazing or great by any stretch, but I think the package that we're sold, there's a lot of bullshit laced in it.
Totally agree.
There's a lot that's missing.
Yeah, also, once you start spending, for example, if you buy a really fancy house, and you have a shitty car, they will say, oh, you have this much house, but you have a shitty car, so you need to buy a better car. When you buy better car, it keeps
never
going.
ends, man.
Yeah.
It never ends. If you play that game, it never ends because you're not going to be Bill Gates.
I agree.
And then when you're Bill Gates, what does he do? He gives a ton of it away.
Also, it attached. You become. You said you need to finance those things.
Yeah.
If you are working somewhere, you can't quit your job, and you sell your freedom basically.
You sell your freedom. Freedom is not necessarily the country you live in; it's the circumstances you live in, and you're creating a lot of those. Sure, you could say in Turkey there's less freedom now than there was years ago, or you could say in the U.S. there's less freedom, sure, than there was years ago. But a lot of it is a personal decision. Seriously. Like, my dad put his hands out and in the system handcuffed him. America can be very restrictive, man.
Yeah.
You've spent time there. It's a great system if you can figure it out and you can leverage it.
Yeah.
Like the system, the law works pretty well. The entrepreneurial energy is good. But you can also get stuck in it.
Yeah.
And I know so many people that don't see or get to experience much outside of that ecosystem.
Yeah.
And if that's what you like, then awesome. I'm not judging at all. But I feel like I saw my father only work, no vacation, and it looked like a way of slavery, to be honest. He didn't like it.
This is the best part I want to tell.
Yeah.
Working hard on something you don't like is like a slavery.
Yeah.
Slavery. But what if I was telling to my friends like 5 years ago or 4 years ago when I was working hard and they were saying, "Are you crazy? You don't have a life?" I said, "Come on, just think about this. What do you like? Traveling or shopping? For example, you're traveling. Just imagine someone is paying you because you are traveling the world. Can you imagine this? And you keep traveling, right? And people say, "Are you crazy? You are traveling a lot." And he said, "So what? I enjoy it." So my work is to me like this. I enjoy every second of making these things. So, and I'm making money off it. Like it's like double. I earn double things. If I had a free time and I was not earning money out of it, I would still be doing this kind of.
That's the beauty of it, right? Like, so this project I did in the 7-part documentary series in the south of Ukraine was I lived with this family and I got their story. They're refugees from war. It wasn't easy at all, but it also brought me like the greatest richness, you know, of any experience. And it was I love the director Tarkovsky, right? The former Soviet director. And he said something like, his work is his life and his life is his work, and there's no separation between the two. And when you love what you're doing, there is no separation. So I would get in those spaces where I was.
Who was this, by the way?
Tarkovsky. He was like a famous Soviet director. Made amazing, beautiful films. He was known for his very long shots. He's very philosophical, slow moving, but beautiful. Not for everybody, but interesting. So when I was on this project, when I would, like, I have my, let's call it work Facebook page and my personal one. I would want to put everything, and now I want to put everything on both pages because my life is what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is my life. And that's amazing. There's not really much of a difference. Now, of course, you want to do more, you want to achieve more, you want to accomplish more. But I'm starting to get into that space, and like you. And
maybe this can become something to make interviews with all the entrepreneurs around the world. Be the world guy for that, because I always love phone. I grew up in the whitest place ever, man. Like the Mexican restaurant had a white dishwasher. Seriously, that's white. So I've always been fascinated with foreigners. I've always loved different people. It's human to like what your tribe is. That's the normality. You want to stay within what's normal, and what's different is the outside, and you want to retract from that. Not one is right or wrong, but I've always been fascinated with the other. And I feel so blessed to live in the world and be part of the world now and be down here talking with you, a Turkish guy, creating something that's working here, using development in Ukraine and using financing out of the US. And it's beautiful, man. When you say this,
you're leveraging the world, dude. You know, you're not stuck to one system. And this is like a new phenomenon, really. This is a new reality and paradigm we live in. So, brother, I've been recording all this too.
Really?
This is the real behind the scenes of Tarkan.
I didn't know that. Really, I didn't know that. That's right.
But we didn't say anything bad, man.
I like it. I like it. You can.
Because I think when you can make things more real and truly pure, that's like when you connect with people the best. So
it's a surprise.
You're easy because we know each other, and you can relax in front of the camera and the microphones. So good work, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. This is fun, really. I like it. I'm happy that you recorded this as well.